Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Great.
Yeah.
Today we're diving into a story called Chasing Carlos.
Oh, this one is a wild ride. Lots of twists and turns.
Definitely. A real emotional roller coaster. We're talking love, betrayal, mistaken identity,
Yeah.
you name it.
And some really tough choices.
For sure. But we're going to focus on a specific part of the story where things get especially complicated. You ready to jump in?
Absolutely lead the way.
Okay, so picture this. Chloe is pregnant,
Uh-oh.
engaged to Carlos,
Okay.
but she's having an affair with Jake, who she believes is her former fiancé back from the dead.
Wow, that's already a lot to process.
Right. So she tells Jake about the pregnancy.
And how does he take it?
Well, he's definitely thrown for a loop.
I can imagine. He's been pushing her to leave Carlos and run away with him, right?
Exactly. So this news kind of throws a wrench in his plans.
But he's not one to give up easily, is he?
Not at all. Instead of panicking, he comes up with a new plan, a more elaborate one.
What does he have in mind?
He tells Chloe they'll still run away together, but they need to be patient and careful.
So what's the plan?
He lays it all out for her. Delay the wedding, slowly move her belongings out of Carlos's house, and even transfer money into his accounts.
Wow, he's really thinking this through.
He is. And all of this, of course, has to be done in total secrecy.
Talk about a high-stakes game. But does Chloe buy into it?
She does. Remember, she's pregnant, confused, and emotionally vulnerable.
Right. And she's desperately clinging to this belief that Jake is her second chance at happiness.
Exactly. And this is where the story really starts to get interesting.
How so?
Because this whole charade, this elaborate plan, it doesn't happen overnight. We're talking about an 18-month period.
18 months. That's a long time to keep up a lie, especially one this complicated.
It is. And it gives Chloe a lot of time to get even more deeply entangled in Jake's web.
And during that time, a lot can happen.
You're telling me a baby girl is born named Carla.
Oh, wow.
And Chloe secretly confirms that Jake is indeed the father.
So now she's even more invested in this escape plan, even more convinced that she needs to be with him.
Exactly. She's put all her eggs in this one basket.
And we, the audience, are left wondering if she's making the right decision. Is Jake who he says he is? Or is there something more to the story?
That's the big question, isn't it? And as the wedding day approaches, the tension just keeps building.
The stage is set for the ultimate showdown.
It is. Chloe's getting ready to walk down the aisle, but in her mind, she's already running away with Jake and baby Carla. Chloe sneaks off to meet Jake, all packed and ready to run away with him. Carlos, the groom, is heading to that very same secluded spot. You know, his heart full of anticipation for a private moment with his bride before the ceremony.
Aw, that's sweet.
I know, right?
But wait, instead of a tender pre-wedding embrace, he stumbles upon
A passionate kiss. Chloe and Jake locked in an embrace that leaves no doubt about their intentions. Can you imagine the shock? The gut-wrenching realization that the woman he's about to pledge his life to is choosing another man. And not just any man, the ghost of her past.
Oh my gosh, it's like the floor just dropped out from under him. His entire world, the future he envisioned, just crumbles before his eyes.
And yet, he chooses silence. Carlos retreats, unseen, his heart completely shattered, but his composure remarkably intact.
Yeah.
And then, bam, the truth bomb drops.
Yeah, Jake, the master manipulator, he decides to reveal his true colors.
What does he say?
He tells Chloe that the whole twin brother story, the amnesia, everything was fabricated. He used her in the past too, used her to support his athletic career, and then just dumped her when he didn't need her. He admits that he faked his death years ago because he was only interested in her money.
Oh my God.
And when he realized she didn't have as much as he'd hoped, he simply walked away.
Can you imagine the shock of the betrayal?
I know, it's awful.
To be confronted with the fact that the man you loved, the man you grieved for, the man you were about to throw away your future for, was nothing but a con artist.
It's a devastating realization, and what's worse, Jake doesn't even try to sugarcoat it. He's cold, callous, almost enjoying the pain he's inflicting.
Like he gets off on it.
Yeah, it's like he takes pleasure in shattering her illusions, in showing her just how foolish she's been.
So she's left standing there heartbroken, humiliated, and completely lost.
Yeah, her entire world has crumbled around her, and the worst part is, she has no one to blame but herself. So she's abandoned, left to face the music alone. I bet a wave of panic washed over her as she realized the magnitude of her situation. There's no turning back now, is there?
Nope. She's trapped. The wedding guests are arriving, the ceremony is about to start, and her escape route has vanished. Chloe makes a split-second decision to proceed. hoping to salvage some semblance of life from this wreckage of her dreams.
Wow, talk about a pressure cooker. What must it have been like to stand at that altar, knowing that her heart belongs to a man who's disappeared, and that the man she's marrying just witnessed her betrayal?
The tension must have been palpable. The story describes Carlos as being distant, almost robotic, throughout the ceremony and reception. Every interaction is laced with this unspoken tension, a stark contrast to the joyous celebration it's supposed to be.
It's like they're both playing roles in this tragic play, each aware of this hidden script that the audience is totally oblivious to. The wedding becomes this elaborate performance of normalcy, masking the profound turmoil beneath the surface. Once the wedding is over, Carlos confronts Chloe.
He tells her everything.
He lays it all out, his suspicions, the kiss, the fact that he knows their marriage is a sham, and then he drops the biggest bomb of all.
He questions Carlos' paternity.
He does. It's this devastating moment of truth for Chloe. All her lies are exposed. She's lost the trust of the man who truly loved her, and now she might lose her daughter too.
Wow. Talk about consequences.
The story doesn't sugarcoat anything. Chloe made her choices, and now she has to face the consequences. Carlos is heartbroken and betrayed. He offers to provide child support if Carla is his daughter.
But otherwise, he's done.
Completely done. So Chloe's left alone, consumed by regret, and facing an uncertain future.
She chased after a ghost and lost everything in the process. It's really a story about choices, isn't it?
It is, and the ripple effects those choices can have.
Like with Carlos. Even though he had his suspicions, he still wanted to protect Chloe.
Yeah. He put her needs before his own, even when it was really tough.
Which is the complete opposite of Jake.
Oh, absolutely. Jake was only ever interested in himself. He saw an opportunity, and he took it.
It's kind of scary how easily he was able to manipulate Chloe.
Right. But I think it shows just how powerful our desires can be. Chloe was so focused on reuniting with her lost love that she ignored all the warning signs.
She wanted to believe it was true so badly that she convinced herself it was.
Exactly. And that can be a dangerous thing.
Especially when you're dealing with someone like Jake.
Who's more than happy to take advantage of that.
And the saddest part is that it's not just Chloe who gets hurt.
Right. Carlos is obviously devastated. And then there's Carla.
She's the innocent one in all of this.
Caught in the middle of this whole mess, her whole life is turned upside down.
And it makes you think, could any of this have been avoided?
That's a tough question. I mean, maybe if Chloe had been more honest with herself, or if she had been more willing to see Jake for who he really was.
But it's easy to say that in hindsight.
It is, and I think that's one of the things that makes the story so compelling. It forces us to examine our own lives and relationships.
To think about the choices we make and the impact they have.
Exactly, and it reminds us to cherish the genuine connections we have.
Because those are the ones that really matter in the end.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be back next time with another fascinating story. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.